Welcome to the Evergreen Forever Guide on how to solo or solo flawless the Spire of the Watcher dungeon, specifically on a hunter with loadouts that absolutely everyone has access to and utilizing strategies that absolutely anyone can execute. All recorded live at twitch.tv/Mactics in one take. Everybody knows the rules. Now, there's tons of good reasons to solo this dungeon, specifically the Hierarchy of Needs exotic bow, its catalyst, both of which are extremely meta right now. The armor set bonus is banging, or maybe you just want to solo flawless it for the emblems, cosmetics, titles, and of course the prestige. Either way, I've got you covered with a guide that is going to be very easy for you to run. There's nothing complicated about this, no complicated crazy DPS rotations or strategies or anything like that. It's super simple. We're overall going to have two builds throughout this dungeon. One that is basically going to take us all the way through the first boss, and then another separate build that will be specific for the final boss. The first thing I want to talk about is the artifact that we're going to be running, since I cannot include this in the Destiny Item Manager link in the description down below if you want to access either of the builds. Queen's Foil Sensor is banger here, specifically because of Solo Operative. And if you don't know what Solo Operative does on Queen's Foil Sensor, it's a little different than past iterations of Solo Operative. Or if we come over to the Destiny Data Compendium, viewed on the Opera GX browser, by the way, we have an affiliate link for that in the description down below. You can download it for free in just 2 seconds, and every person who does gets $3 for the channel, so I would appreciate it if you would consider doing that. If you appreciate these guides, it helps us continue to make them. Every single precision kill that you get gives you a stack of damage boost, up to 30% increased weapon damage at 25 stacks. Now, sure, things like Sniper's Meditation are exceptionally good, Particle Reconstruction can be really, really good, but for a boss that we are doing primarily precision damage on, like the first boss, 30% increased weapon damage is going to beat out literally any other artifact, so that is the main reason that we have this. And you want to make sure that you're stacking it up throughout the first initial encounters by getting those precision final blows. In terms of the rest of our artifact perks, you can just take a screenshot of this: Raise, Kindling Trigger, Wish, Heart of Flame, Torch, and Fever, and Chill. As far as the rest of our setup, Celestial Nighthawk, although admittedly you could go a different neutral game exotic for the first couple of encounters if you want to. You really just need to have this on for the first boss encounter. I'm just going to have it on right now because, frankly, with the strategies I'm going to give you, you don't really need a neutral game exotic for survivability or to get through them very quickly or anything like that. Subclass setup: Golden Gun Marksman, Gambler's Dodge, Snare Bomb, so we can weaken the boss and do more damage, Grapple for mobility, Stylish Executioner and Ascension for survivability, alongside Facet of Protection and Purpose, both for survivability as well, Restoration when you pick up orbs, and general bonus DR. And then Courage and Dawn is going to give you bonus damage towards your Celestial Nighthawk and bonus damage for your weapons, which also all feel really good for stats. Care most about weapons and super, so we can try and one phase the boss, but if you 2-phase him, it's not the biggest deal in the world. I'm going to show you how to get through those phases super quickly. As far as armor mods go, we are going to go double super fonts, so we get even more super stat. I'm only at 145, so when I'm armor charged, this will bring me up to 185. Harmy Siphon, Solar Loader, Heavy-Handed, so that we make orbs on powered melee final blows. Grapple Melee and Snare Bomb will both proc this. Alongside both of those will proc Impact Induction, so we get more grapple melee energy. For resistances, you can run Concussive Dampener, Void Resistance, Solar Resistance all the way through. Triple Solar Weapon Surge, at least for the first boss, for our Still Hunt, which is what we'll be utilizing there. And then Powerful Reaper, Time Die, down on the class item as usual on the Hunter. As far as weapons go, kind of run whatever you want. Really just whatever primary ammo weapon is going to let you get precision final blows easily to stack up that Solo Operative. I also like a Fusion Rifle to truck the Minotaurs. And then Eager Edge Sword is bang. You don't have to use this. It'll just make your run a little bit slower, especially if you're trying to farm it solo. But Eager Edge lets you zip through the dungeon super quickly, especially nice for the jumping puzzle areas, but you could use like a machine gun, for example, instead if you wanted to. You'll notice I have no exotic weapon on at the current moment. That is because until you get to the first boss, you really don't need one, and you'll kind of see why as we're getting through it. So we're going to launch this bad boy up, and I'm going to be doing one of these guides. I'll have a playlist linked in the description down below for guides for solo/solo flawless dungeons for Monument of Triumph, since of course these guides are good for forever. If you're watching this the day it's released, or you're watching this 10 years from now, it'll still be relevant. And I'm going to be making these guides for all 3 classes on every single dungeon, assuming people actually watch them. If no one watches them, then I guess I won't continue making them. But, you know, hopefully you guys watch them. Hopefully you enjoy them. Fingers crossed. And so I'll link them all in a playlist down in the description below. I've already got Pit of Heresy recorded on Hunter, doing Spire the Watcher right now. Spire the Watcher is probably going to be one of my prioritized ones, because I know everyone wants the Hierarchy of Needs exotic bow, because it's trucking. I'm going to try and get a video up on a build for Hierarchy of Needs ASAP, because that thing is absolutely delicious. These are also going to be very casual guides, by the way. I'm not really going to edit them too heavily, or really even edit them at all. It's just two fellas hanging out, enjoying some solo dungeons. You can even have this guide on in the background if you want to while you're doing your solo dungeon run. And then it's almost like it's a duo dungeon run. in spirit, I suppose, I guess. So we're gonna get started. Eager-Red Sword is, of course, going to let us get through here zippy. Like I said, you don't have to use an Eager-Red Sword. It's not necessary. There's, like, no area that you're not going to be able to do without an Eager-Red Sword. I just like using it for these because it makes the guide shorter. Which, like, yeah, I guess that means I make less money on the video, but whatever. I'd rather make less money on the video and publish a 30-minute guide than make more money and publish a guide that's 50 minutes but doesn't need to be 50 minutes because I'm just not using an Eager-Red Sword. So... Step 1, we're going to get the Artrition buff from the Minotaur, who's going to spawn in the back of the map right here. And number 1 and 2 prioritizations that you want to make right here is don't be outside as much as you can so you don't get blasted by the Cyclopses. And if you are, just always be moving around. And number 2, do not finish any of the electricity links until you're ready to finish all 4. Because when you finish 1, you spawn a bunch of supplicants that will... Oh, it's soup time. Silly me. But, like I said, these are recorded live at twitch.tv/Mactics. My Twitch chat has the power to use bits to play goofy little sound effects on my stream. So, yeah, if you ever see stuff like that, that's where that's coming from. So, we're going to continue hitting all these. So, this one's already ready to go. But, again, like I said, I do not want to complete it because then I'll spawn supplicants. So, I'm instead going to go on to the next one. I usually like to do both of the far away ones first. So, we'll... Come on. Ouch. I'm gonna clock one of these guys real quick for Stylish Executioner to get invis. So we'll clock that, come over here, hit that, and then we'll come inside here, hit that, and then we'll loop-de-loop around here. I think that one's actually ready to go. So we basically have 2 of 4 done. We just haven't hit the final ones because, again, we don't want to spawn supplicants. So now we'll come over to the front-facing ones. This one, you'll kind of jump down a little hole. Again, we're trying to get precision final blows, like, whenever they present themselves, just so we can start stacking our solo operative up to 25 stacks in preparation for the first boss encounter. So we're not in a rush to do that, but just doing it where we can on the enemies that are easy to hit with that. I probably should have done Ascension there. So that's 3 right there. Now we'll do our 4th and final one. Nice, got that precision. When we do that one, we have to hop down here, hit that, hop back up. Again, like I said, try and be outside as little as possible, but like when you are outside, I don't have Artrition. I gotta rinse a Minotaur real quick. I am kind of trolling a little bit. Did I even hit that one? Okay, now that's it. That's where my chain was broken. Hit that, and now we should be... No. I'm hard selling somewhere, and I don't know where I'm hard selling. I do know where I'm hard selling. It goes... This one. I really ran out of Artrition a while ago. Then it goes that one. That'll link to that one up there. And then we hit this one. And then we can hit all 4 down here. Maybe? Oh my god. This might be the world's worst Spire of the Watcher Guide video. And yet, it'll still get the job done for you, so I guess that's a testament to how good these loadouts are. Yeah, I only got 8 stacks of damage boost for solo operative there from my precision final hits. So we're going to have to pick up the pace on that one. You guys let me know in the comment section if you like this or not. I've made the decision that in these guides, I am going to do my best to include all of the secret chests for those who are soloing these specifically to get the armor set bonuses. So I'm going to show the jumping puzzles, not necessarily the fastest way that you can do them, but the fastest way that you can do them that also includes getting the secret chest. So my routes aren't just going to be going straight to the next encounter. If that were the case, with an Eager-Red Sword and Grapple Grenade and Ascension, you can go straight from that platform right there to the next encounter. So if you don't care about the secret chest and you want to go for that, feel free. But I am, like I said, going to show the secret chest. I'm going to get a quick damage boost stack right here. But the secret chest is just right over there. So you can either do it the normal way and just kind of like jump across all of these. Or I would just recommend using your Eager-Red Sword plus Grapple Grenade to just make your life a little easier. And then you don't have to do nearly as much jumping. And then you rotate around here, and the secret chest is hanging out right over there. Ooh, can I get a few stacks? Nope, I can't aim. But yeah, then once you get that secret chest right there, you'll just start to make your way over to the next encounter. Which, here you should just be able to... You'll kind of need the Eager-Ed Sword to be able to make that one, I think. Ascension can come in handy there as well. Grapple can come in handy there as well. But you'll just kind of work your way around here. Nothing crazy. Once you get to this platform, you'll jump around. And then down here low is where you're heading. Get a little Ascension to hop over that guy. I don't really care about taking him out. And we are onwards and upwards. I need a few more stacks. I'm actually going to switch to my Yeartide Apex here because it makes hitting the buttons a little bit easier. Yeah, I still need 11 more stacks to hit 25, but I'll hit those before I get to my first DPS phase on the Harpy boss. So I'll hop up here, 180, hop up here, 180, hop up here, 180, hop up here. Little slide. Slide. I'm not going to rally. I have everything I need for this, so rally flag is a little bit unnecessary. I'm just going to go. We're going to hop up here. Slide over here, and then there's going to be a Minotaur that spawns right in front of us. Little fusion rifle will do the job real quick, and then we'll hit both of these. And then I'll grab this one on the left. And then I'm going to move over here to the right. I usually like to just get like 2 over here. So I'll hit this one, and then that one, and then I'm going to double back to where I originally killed the Minotaur, because I'm just trying to get that pathway started so that when I loop around the entire way over here while I'm getting the other set of nodes, that I can just like peek around the corner and hit what's left. And in this section, all of these nodes will always be in the exact same location, in the exact same order, so this is just something you'll kind of get used to over time. So I'm done with that link right there. With this one, I already started most of it, so all I have to do is look up there, look down there, and then I'm done with this link. That's kind of why I started the loop a little bit and then double backed, because I can just peek my head around, hit what's left. Easy peasy. Once we get up here, we are going to immediately go to the left and tag both of the nodes in here, and then hop over here on this platform. I also like to, if I can, I'll tag that one up there, and then I'll completely go around the side here. Try and get a few stacks with precision damage. My aim is awful today, though, because the day ends in Y. Look up there, hit that one, jump up, and we're done with that link. And then all we need to do is finish up over here. So we'll come over to this bridge. And then we'll work our way back around, hit that. Stylish is really nice with an incandescent weapon here as well, because obviously you'll scorch the nearby enemies when you take out one, and then when you take out the nearby scorched enemy, boom, snap of the finger, you're invis, just like that. Just makes survivability so simple. We'll have a starting node right in front of our face when we jump up here. So we'll go ahead and clock that, jump around here, hit that one. Hop up over here, hit that one. Try and get a few precision final blows so I can get closer to that 25 stacks on solo operative. I don't really know where I am. We'll also hit this one up in the ceiling. And then we're going to jump across, and then the other starting node is going to be over here. And then we're going to kind of do what we've been doing so far and hit that double back strategy, where we're kind of trying to get the link most of the way around. Once you're there in that corner, you can then continue with your original pathing. Head back around here. Hit that one. And then all that's left is boom, because that's kind of like how that's the one we wrapped around, and then it's just these two and you're done. Easy as that. So we'll hop up. Hop up. Damage boost is at 23 stacks, which is perfect. I only need 2 more stacks to max out on that damage buff and get 30%, which I'll very easily have that by the time I get to DPS phase here. And I might be able to get a 1 phase. I'm hoping I get a 1 phase so I can make this guide video super short. But once we get to this part, this is when we are going to throw on our Still Hunt, and then we're going to switch our Scatter Signal or whatever special weapon you have up here. You can just do whatever you want for ad clear. I really love having a machine gun right here, though, for popping the eyes. Because you just pop them. You pop them so quickly. Makes things super simple. And that is basically it for changes. We're going to keep on all the same mods. Again, I'll show my artifact just in case anyone's skipping to this section. You can take a screenshot of that. I'll show my mod screen as well. Something that's really nice, definitely not necessary, but something that's awesome here is the Atheon set bonus. While you have a subclass buff, dealing sustained damage creates an orb of power, because then you're basically feeding yourself for your surges. So our solar weapon surges and our super surges up here. You feed yourself surges for free. It's okay if you don't have it. You just want to make sure that you definitely have time dilation on here and have a few stacks of armor charge going into DPS phase, which is very easy if you have like Harmonic Siphon, obviously, or you have Reaper or something like that. It's pretty easy to get them. Heavy-handed can also make you your orbs with your grapple final blows, grapple melee final blows. Even if you have the Atheon armor set bonus, you'll probably actually, now that I think about it, want to have like at least one stack of armor charge going into DPS phase, because you open the rotation with your Goldie and your Still Hunt. Speaking of the rotation with Goldie and Still Hunt, the one semi-complicated thing about this guide is going to be the initial rotation on this boss. However, I do want to note, it's only relevant in any capacity if you want to go for a one phase. I'll talk about it in a little bit, because first I want to talk about... I always like doing DPS on this one. So I'll always start my linking one to the right. That way the one I end is that one where I want to do DPS anyway. So you'll just get kind of used to where all the nodes are here, and you'll get really fast at it. You can kind of, for the most part, you can basically ignore ad clear here. That's not to say that, like, don't clear any of the ads, but you don't have to focus ad clear. Because normally you're going to be playing low, and all of the ads are up high. Like, most of the time you're chilling down here while you're clearing everything out. Or you're like underneath the bridge where most of the ads aren't even going to have line of sight on you anyway. Yeah, I mean, if you're getting smoked by the Harpies, then yeah, take out a couple Harpies, you know? But yeah, like I said, for the most part, it's going to be easy peasy. Okay. You also definitely want to make sure to take out any Harpies that are by your DPS relay. And we're getting ready to do DPS. I want to get one more stack of armor charge here, so I'm just going to grapple melee this guy to make an orb through heavy-handed. And so that way we are definitely going to have armor charge going in the DPS phase. Okay, so for rotation, it's slightly complicated, but it's basically going to be Transcendence into pop your... it's going to be Transcendence into pop your Still Hunt Goldie into pop your Nighthawk Goldie. So we're going to do Transcendence, bang, hit that, and then smoke, nade, and then hit this. So that way it's weakened, we have Radiant, and as you can see, his health bar just completely vanishes. I'm going to throw another Smoke Bomb to reapply the weaken, hit this. And if you're quick enough, I think you can get a one phase probably. I don't think I'll get it because I missed one of my shots right there. If I landed that shot, I think if I landed that shot, I would have gotten the one phase. But... it's kind of really not a big deal, if I'm being honest, because to get to another phase, especially if you have him that low, you don't really have to worry about getting your super, you don't really have to worry about getting ammo. You can just go straight into taking everything out and hitting all of these nodes as quickly as possible, because you only need one Minotaur since you get 3 seconds bonus time on your Arctrician buff for every node you hit. So if you get one Minotaur and then you just speed run hitting all these nodes, it's completely free. I think I missed this one. It's right there. We're good. I'll just grapple over here. Clock that guy. Clock those guys. Hit that. Right here is another one where if you're quick enough, you can kind of like pre-shoot all of them. Again, this is an example where I'm like not necessarily focusing at clear, but if on my way to the next set of nodes, there's like a bunch of dudes in front of me, especially Harpies, like might as well take them out, you know? But you'll notice I'm never really going out of my way to mop up all the ads because they just spawn infinitely. And as long as you have Ascension up, like nothing's gonna hit you anyway. Also, by the way, like, if you have a loadout that you know is going to do more damage than the one I'm currently using, that you know will get you a 1-phase, then, like, please do use it. The loadouts that I'm using in this guide aren't necessarily, like, I'm not claiming that they're mathematically the best loadouts available or anything like that. I'm just using these ones because they're simple and everyone has them and they're easy to execute. If you can get better damage with something else and, like, you just know some tech that I don't know about, then, like, please be my guest. Please do use it. Like, use whatever is going to be simplest for you. I'm just recommending stuff that's easy and that everyone has. So just land a couple shots right there. Hit a nice little 360. Bang, you're dead. See ya. And we are off. I'm going to do a little weapon swap here. Kind of put on whatever you want. I'm just going to put on this stuff. Slide on down. Slip on down. Hop on down. A little jump so I don't take damage. Now, unlike the previous encounter, you do have to kind of worry about ad clear a little bit here because ads are what makes the Minotaur spawn so that you can actually do the mechanic. An anti-barrier weapon here is great because the hobgoblins do their little immunity form, but you can shoot hobgoblins in their immunity form with an anti-barrier weapon, so we love that. I have just this auto-loading holster machine gun. The Minotaur is going to spawn right here when you kill enough stuff, so I'll just kind of spawn camp him, take him out, and then I literally don't care about any of the other ads. It's just bing, 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 hit all the nodes. You'll get faster at that the more you run this and the more that you farm this. For this part, I literally just like to look at these platforms, and then, like, the second a fan blade passes, that's when I jump off. It's like that one is down there. It's just the second a fan blade passes. You can kind of, like, pre-anticipate the fan blade. And, like, you start moving as it's right underneath you, because, like, then by the time you fall off, it's going to be past. Does that make sense? But yeah, we're just mopping up all these ads, because these ads on the floor are what controls the spawn of the Minotaur. Here he comes. He's going to spawn over here this time. Hop over here. And then similar, bing, bing, one on the ceiling, one there, and one there. Missing one for a second. I can hop down, through here, then same deal. Kind of stare at these right as the fan blades come in, hop right down. You can also aim for these things as well. You don't have to necessarily aim for the, like, platforms. Like, these metal bars here also work. In fact, that's your only option down here. So, careful about jumping too high there as well, because then you'll bonk your head on the fan blade and it'll whoosh you. My number one tip for that area is just, like, don't freak out. Like, be patient. Be very, very, very patient. You are in no rush to do that section. And rushing will get you smoked. Only reason that you should not be patient is if you, like, definitely know what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with taking it a little slow. Take out all these ads. I'm missing some ads. There we go. That'll spawn Minotaur right here. Take him out. Hit that. Hit that. Hit that. Hit that. Hit that. Everything will despawn. Be careful with the goblins. Once you're done there, if you come over to this staircase, there's going to be a grate underneath the staircase, and this is going to be your other secret chest right there, down the hallway. I'm not going to get it because I don't really care about the loot. I'd rather just make this go faster. But once we're done with that, we'll hop down here. And all the way down, and then we're at final boss. The loadout I'm going to be suggesting for the final boss is an accessible loadout. And so what's going to change about my loadout is I'm actually changing my artifact, because the bulk of my damage isn't going to be coming from weapon damage anymore, which is why I don't care as much about solo operative, because in this version, it's only weapon damage. I care more about super damage, which is why I'm going with Tablet of Ruin so that I can use the Limit Break, where while I have an elemental buff, I get bonus super damage, 15%. And then I'm also going Particle Recon, so I get 28% bonus damage on my Fusion Rifle, which is another one of the things I'm going to be using. And then I got, you know, these other ones if you want to copy them. They're not really that super relevant, but screenshot if you want to copy. Shards of Galanor. And Blade Barrage. We're not going Nighthawk anymore because his crit is a complete pain to hit. Shards of Galanor, Blade Barrage, super easy. It's impossible to mess up unless you are not looking at your screen. For a subclass setup, we're now going Pure Solar, Acrobat's Dodge, and Crack Shot so that we can get Cure when we use this, plus give ourselves Radiant. Knock them down so our Blade Barrage does more damage, Healing Nade for survivability, Ashes for more overall damage, Singeing so that we can use Crack Shot more, Solace so that we get longer duration of Radiant and Restoration from Healing Grenade, and Empyrean so Solar Final Blows extend our Radiant and Restoration. Again, this will be linked in Destiny Item Manager, linked down in the description. For mods, Super Fonts, so that we get as much super stat as possible. Harmy Siphon, Harmy Loader, again, same resistances as before. Double Solar Weapon Surge and a Strand Surge, we'll talk about that in a second. And then Reaper, I have a class font. I should not have a class font, actually, sorry. That should be a Time Dilation, not a class. Yeah, it should be a Time Dilation. Actually. We'll go class font. We'll change this into a 1 stat minor super mod, because I do want the class font so I can get more crack shots off. Time Dilation is important, though, so that we can guarantee that we have armor charge going into the DPS phase so that we take advantage of these super fonts. So our super does lots of damage. Dragon's Breath is going to be super nice here. Catalyst is not a requirement. Definitely makes it a little bit nicer. But Dragon's Breath feels really, really good. And then I pair this with a Scatter Signal Fusion Rifle. I have a video on how to get this, but it's super easy to get, even as a solo player. Get one of these. It's amazing. I have a video on my channel about it. Just uploaded. I'll link it in the description. Slice and Controlled Burst. Banger, because when you pop Crack Shot and then you shoot the boss with this, boss does 40% less damage to you, so you're basically immune. Controlled Burst, I think it's 20% bonus damage, plus another 30% when you pair it with Particle Reconstruction. What I will say is, 1000 Voices with Catalyst, definitely better DPS than Dragon's Breath and this setup. However, I'm not recommending that for this guide specifically, because, like I said, I want it to be with accessible loadouts. With this setup, you can get a very tight 2-phase, very comfortable 3-phase. With 1000 Voices Catalyst instead of Dragon's Breath, it'd probably be a very comfortable 2-phase. And you would still do Tablet of Ruin even if you are doing 1000 Voices, because even though the bulk of your damage would then be weapon damage, which would be 30% boosted from Solo Operative, you get 28.6% from Particle Reconstruction, plus 15% to your super from Limit Break, so this is overall more damage even if you are doing 1k. This is, the Solo Op is just better than Sniper's Meditation for... Still Hunt, excuse me, for a precision-based boss. But I'm going to be showcasing Dragon's Breath and Scatter Signal DPS rotation. The gist is basically Dragon's Breath, 3 to 4 Scatter Signal shots, Dragon's Breath, 3 to 4 Scatter Signal shots, rinse and repeat in the DPS phase. Other things are, you want to make sure that you're Radiant as you go into the DPS phase, so you're always using Crack Shot to proc Acrobat's Dodge to get Radiant, so that you get the 15% bonus from Limit Break. And you want to make sure you have Armor Charge stacked so that you have your 40 bonus super stat from your super stat mods on your helmet. That's a lot of yapping, huh? With that in mind, ping. This is a very, very, very easy encounter to solo, by the way, once you know what you're doing. We're just going to start. We're going to blast one of the Hydras. Then we're going to immediately swap sides. The #1 rule for this encounter is ABJ. Always be jumping. Basically, the only thing that can kill you in here is the Supplicants, as long as you are always paying attention to where the boss is. And if you're always jumping, the Supplicants can basically never kill you. So just keep... All you have to do is track the boss and keep an eye on where the boss is going while always jumping. Generally speaking, jumping across from side to side is always going to be really good, because then the boss will just have to continue walking back and forth side to side. And you can get through these phases really, really quickly, as long as you're comfortable with hitting these nodes. Similar... oh boy. I'm trolling a little bit. This is what that healing grenade is for right there. So the boss is kind of camping the nodes that I need to hit, so I'm just going to kind of sit here until the boss walks in this room to bait him. Okay, he's coming, so I'm safe to go back in here. Hit that. Hit that. I don't want to tunnel vision on these too hard, because the boss is going to start chasing me again. But you're just basically going to get a feel for these nodes. And you never want to activate both nodes until the boss is in this room. So now that he's in here, I can hit both of these. I also want to make sure that I have armor charge. That's what that time dilation is for. So I just popped my class ability, so I have Reaper active. So I'm going to spray this guy to get one more orb. So I cap off on my armor charge. I'll hit all of these nodes to lock in DPS phase. And then for DPS, I'm literally just going to like kiss this door. And my rotation's basically going to be Dragon's Breath, pop my dodge for Radiant, Blade Barrage, and then swap between Dragon's Breath and Scatter Signal. So we go like 1, 2. Since I did the Blade Barrage, I don't need as many shots. I actually pulled out my SMG right there. And then hitting the crack shot whenever it's up to refresh Radiant and to refresh Sever on this fusion rifle. This DPS rotation is kind of not very good on my part. I kind of fumbled it a little bit pulling out the SMG. And I pulled out the Dragon's Breath too early right there. But even so, we can kind of still get a 2-phase. And because you're using Shards of Galanor, you get half of your super energy back just from hitting the boss. So you're always going to have super back for the next DPS phase, even if you get there super quickly. So again, more of the same. We're just kind of baiting the boss, always keeping track of where he is, using our fusion rifle to blast these guys. I'm baiting the boss over here so that when he walks over here, I can jump across to go get this Minotaur. Number one rule is, well, ABJ is the number one rule. Number 2 rule is always know where the boss is. Always be airborne, always know where the boss is. If you're ever running this encounter and you're like, I don't know where the boss is, you have made a very grave mistake. And that is literally the only way you will lose. So we're just going to keep it up, keep going in here. And I'm basically already on to the next DPS phase. I'm going to wait just a second, just to make sure the boss comes in here. He's on his way, so we're good. And boom, next DPS phase already, just like that. That easy. And I already have my super back, because again, I got half of it back from Shards of Galanor. And then making sure I have armor charge stacks. Which, time dilation is nice, because if you have 3, it's 45 seconds of armor charge. You're basically guaranteed. Let's see if I can make the 2-phase happen for the guide video. Pew. One, 2. Let's get the Dragon's Breath back out. Nope, I trolled. I trolled big time. I think I actually missed my first Dragon's Breath shot. But this is going to be a mega troll. But yeah, if you have 1k, it's probably going to be a pretty free 2-phase. If you're doing the Dragon's Breath, but you're good at the game, unlike me, it will also still probably be a 2-phase. If you're using Dragon's Breath, but you're bad like me, then it'll be like a pretty easy 3-phase. I think I missed part of my Blade Barrage too, because I didn't get half of it back. Imagine my embarrassment. But yeah, it's fine, because we can kind of illustrate like how truly quickly you can get to another DPS phase. The DPS phases here are, you get to them so quickly. So we'll hit all those, hit that. Basically, if they're on opposite sides, I always like to hit all of the ones in this room, and then I will move into the next room. And the more you do this, the more you'll just kind of get used to which nodes are which. It's like, it's pretty simple. Gross. Is it the under... That's what the healing grenade's for. Yeah, this under bridge one is kind of gross. When you get the one that goes here and then under the bridge, you kind of have to bait the boss out into this room. If he's already in that room. Otherwise, he'll just kind of bully you. There's not a lot of angles that you can hit the one under the bridge from. I might have gone back in here too early because he's already going to start pathing back in here. But yeah, you kind of have to jump in mid to get that. In you go. And then he'll do his thing. I don't even really need super to finish him off here, so I'm not going to concern myself too much with it. Bing, 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 bing. Get an orb for armor charge. Yeah, I'm not going to have super, but kind of whatever. I think I could melee him down. Pew, pew. Throw those. Pew, pew, and GG's. That is how you solo flawless / solo Spire of the Watcher on a Hunter in, I don't know, about 30 minutes maybe? 29 minutes, 30 seconds. And that's with a 3-phase on the final boss and a 2-phase on the first boss. If you get a little more fluid with it, you can probably hit like a You can probably hit like a 25-minute run, maybe even like a 22-ish minute run. So yeah, I hope you found this helpful. I'm going to try to make videos like this for all the dungeons. And if you want to take these same strategies, but not use them to solo the boss and instead run these strategies with a team, I'll have my Discord server linked in the description down below. We have an LFG channel in there where a ton of people have been playing together from the Destiny community. It's been like a great hub for finding teammates who have all seen the exact same guides and who all know the exact same strategies. So you're kind of like getting a, on average, higher knowledge player when it comes to this type of content, because they also all watch the same guides and then go to the Discord server and look in the LFG channel because they came from here. So yeah, join, linked in the description down below. I hope you found this helpful. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see the future guides. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.